Anytime you play a Conference USA opponent, I mean, you obviously want to send a message, because a lot of other coaches are actually watching the scores and everything else, and you want to see where you are, from a strength standpoint for the conference. And the girls realize that, obviously with us playing this team, they're a little bit of a different team, Southern Miss, than what we played last year. There's a lot of new German freshmen on the team, so we don't really know what we're getting into. And, we want to send a strong message that, last year we were a little bit disappointed that we didn't make postseason, so we're here sort of, with a vengeance, trying to, to really put our footprint on postseason. So it starts with that very first match. And we really want to do a good job. We've had a couple of days to prepare. We're going to prepare the rest of the week. And, I know the girls are excited, we're excited, but we do want to send a message because, like I said, other coaches are watching, other players are watching. So this very first match is very important to us for many reasons. Well, this year is a little bit different in all years past in that we wanted to start with a conference opponent, and then we jumped right into ITA kickoff, and that kickoff is very tough. We're going indoors, and it's going to push us for sure really quickly. But like last year, I wanted to put us in that scenario to see kind of how we stacked up against the best teams in the country, and it's kind of, I've told the girls, their break for Christmas was so important for so many reasons because, they had to go home and make sure they kept their fitness up. They had to make sure that they were hitting, their timing was there kind of thing. So, we really didn't have any downtime, even though we technically did, we really didn't. So jumping into this kind of tournament is going to be a tell-all for a lot of things. And I keep saying this all the time, I'm excited, but I want to see us compete with the nation's best. That was our goal from day one, to at some point get to play all these teams every year, year in, year out. And we've got to be ready. You can't goof off at all. I mean, every day you take the practice court, you have to be dialed in mentally. You've got to be dialed in physically. You've got to know that you've got to make one more ball than probably a girl on the team that's top 10. And it's a big task. It really is. But I know my girls are ready. I mean, we've talked about this so many times. Would you rather play a team that's 200 or would you rather play a team that's 25? Well, we're all on board. We obviously want to play a top team, a top 25 team. So I'm putting them in that situation, so let's see what happens. I'm looking to see, number one, how prepared we are. Because any team in any sport at any school across the nation, I can do my best to motivate my team. But true motivation comes from yourself. So how prepared are you? Did you go home and do the work? I want to see how many of us can stay out there 3 sets if we have to pull out a W for Tulane. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for how we handle adversity. Because, every year there's going to be some, for sure. There's going to be. So how do we handle that? How do we handle losing a 4-3 match? What changes do we need to make? How do we handle winning a 4-3 match? What could we continue to do to get better? I think the girls will tell you I'm so detail-oriented that even a win, even like a 6-1 or a 7-0 win, I still want to find the weaknesses because they're there. And we've got to continue to make them better. So I want to see how prepared we are, how well we fight, and, will you leave it all on the court? Because the girls know, I tell them, I said, you can never get that match back. There's a winner and a loser every time. So do what you have to do to win for yourself, for your team, and for Tulane. So that's what I'm looking for. That we're a little bit of a different team than we've been in the past 5 years. Of course we are. Every year there's going to be transition for any program. I'm not afraid of it. My assistants aren't afraid of it. It's natural. It's a normal part of what we do. So when the team came in September, they obviously realized we were a little bit of a different team too, because you've got players in the lineup who had never seen the lineup before. So I think there were a lot of nerves out there. They were very nervous and wanted to produce and do well for the school. So we really focused on the task at hand. Okay, whatever that task at hand is that day, that's what you focus on. If it's making 300 balls cross court, then that's what you do. You make 300 balls cross court, and you really work on perfecting that craft. So, yeah, we are a different team, but I'm proud of this team. I said this in the fall. I I would not put another group of girls out there. Because what you have this year, you have girls that want to prove a point. Okay, look, I haven't had my shot. I want to get out there and prove to everybody that I deserve to be here. I deserve to be at Tulane. I don't want to ride the bench anymore. I can go out there and show them that I can do this. And what I appreciate about that is that those kind of players are dangerous. Somebody that's trying to prove a point and can show, look, I deserve to be here. That's what we have. And I'm excited. And granted, I'm not saying we're not talented, because we are talented. But now it's just going to be getting our feet wet, not being so green. How do you handle certain things that some of these other girls have been handling for 2 and 3 years, and now it's up to you to handle it if the match comes down to you. So, yeah, I mean, they're going to be fine. They're going to be fine. And here's the deal. If we talk about the beginning of the fall to the end of the fall, the beginning of the fall, we took some hits. We did. But the best part about that is if I really go back and I visit mentally that Michigan tournament, knowing that we're going to play a dual format against teams that were all finished inside the top 25, if I really think about that, we started out a little rough. We ended that weekend on a Sunday with even missing 2 girls in the lineup, losing 4-3 to a team who finished number 27. What does that tell you? That tells me that, you know what? They believed. They believed that they could be out there with this team, and that's a dangerous component in any team, just believing, especially with females. If they go out there with a little bit of swag, I mean, you'll be surprised what happens. So transition through the fall. Yeah, the beginning we took some hits, but the end of the first tournament we did a much better job. And then by the end of the fall, I mean, we were bringing home trophies. We brought home a lot of hardware. And I'll be honest with you, I always say nothing surprises me, but I was like, wow, I'm a little bit surprised with my team, because they put their shoulders back, they dug their heels in, and they did their work. And they do that in the spring, they're going to be fine. And you get halfway through the spring, they'll be over their nerves. They'll be over playing in front of people. They'll be fine. So huge strides made in the fall. And I expect even bigger strides to be made in the spring, because obviously we have added Sophie Bloom to the lineup. So we're a little bit, we're a different team still. It's kind of funny, because from fall to fall, we're a different team. And then even from fall to this spring, we're a different team. So, the sky's the limit.